Good Shabbos, but sorry for being a little bit late and posting this year. I've been a little bit under the weather since the Chasna and need a couple some time to recuperate. Hopefully by Sunday, Monday, I'll be back in my feet 100%. Depends what happens when Shabbos share brachas, But Hashem, all good. Okay, today's share, the initials Aaron Nachman Simcha Cohen, who's Yerted coming up this coming week. Yeshua Baruch Hashem, so Baruch Hashem, Shmalim, Yom Hashem, Yosef, Mele, Hashem, so have an Aliyah. And first, then, if you saw Baruch Aliyah, Baruch was Pesach Zelda, Baruch Aliyah, Baruch Baruch Av Yisrael, Berisha, Chaim, Bela, Baruch Shlem, Besok, Shar, Chol Yisrael. And shout out to our monthly sponsor, the Imperial Advisory Group, for their support this year. If you or your company need help with the the financials or the CFO stuff, please reach out to them at imperialgrp.com. They are the best in the business. Okay, Perek, we're in Bava Kamma, Perek Test Mishnah Aleph. We're finishing Bava Kamma on Sunday and starting Bava Kamma on Bava Metzia on Tuesday, Rosh Hashanah. Okay, goes eight Seva, son Caleb. If you steal, someone steals pieces of wood and makes them into utensils. Sem Eva son begodim. Or if he steals wool, makes it into a garment. He doesn't have to return. So he does not have to return the utensils or the garments. The shalim kishas hagazela. Rather, he pays according to what the wood or the wool was worth at the time of the robbery. Since the item he stole changed into something else, he acquires made a kidney on it and he pays the owner what it was worth when he stole it. Gazel parable beres yoda. Someone stole a pregnant cow and it gave birth Rachel to Ugazaza. Or if he stole a ewe laden with wool and he sheared it, he does not have to return the calf or the wool. Shalom demei para hamedas leiled. He pays the value of a cow that is ready to give birth. Demei Rachel hamedas gazes, or the value of a ewe that is ready to be shorn, meaning that he returns the cow or the ewe as it is, and he pays the difference between what it was worth now, what it was worth when he stole it. Um, but he does not need to return the actual newborn calf or the wool because it changed completely, whether from fetus to calf or from part of an ewe to detached wool. Gazel poverty it's the if someone stole a cow and it became pregnant while it was with him and it gave birth, Rachel in this Nitana Etzla Ugazaza. Or if he stole a ewe and it came later with wool while it was with him and then he sheared it. The Shalin Kishas Hagazela, he pays according to what it was worth at the time of the robbery. And doesn't but he can keep the calf or the wool. Exactly. This is the rule. All robbers pay according to what the property is worth at the time of the robbery. Yeah, that's the rule. Okay. Mishnah Bays. Gaza behema v'hiskina. If someone stole an animal and it became old, avad v'hiskina, or if he stole a Kanani and they became old, or he stole the Evet Avodim Kananiim in the plural, and they became old. Mishalim Kishas Akazela. He pays according to the value at the time of the robbery. Since the stolen animal or slaves changed physically by growing old and weak, then the robber acquires them. He pays what they were worth at the time of the robbery when they were young and strong. If you Meir says, Avodim Omer. Hello. Turn around, please. Turn on the lights, please. Thank you. No problem. Okay, always interruptions. Here we go. Let's try this again. Um, where were we? Okay, Mary says, "Bavadem Amar Lo, Hare Shachal Lefanech." In the case of slaves, the robber can say to the original owner, "Behold, what is yours is here before you. Take him back as he is." According to Meir, it is not legally possible to steal a slave and acquire him. Rather, he remains the property of his owner. And even after the slave grows old, the thief returns him and does not need to pay for the loss of value. Gazel, Mafbei of Anistak. If someone stole a coin and it cracked, Paris or Hirkivu, or stole fruits and they rotted, Yain Hechmis, or wine and it's soured, the Shalim Kishasa Gazela, he pays according to what it was worth at the time of the robbery, meaning that since it changed enough for it to become the thief's property, therefore it keeps the stolen object and pays the owner the original value. Not Be'ev and Nifsal, if he stole a coin and it became disqualified, then the locals stop accepting it as money. Truma with Nitmes, or he stole Truma and it became Tameh, which is now usher to be eaten. Chametz v'avar alav Pesach, or he stole chametz and it was with him during Pesach, and therefore it became usher. Behema v'navda ba avera, or if he stole an animal and a sin was performed with it, so it cannot be used for a korban. Oh, nifsala mi'agabe mizbech, or it became disqualified for being makro on the mizbech as a korban because it has a blemish. Oh, shahayas yotze sakil, or it was being taken out to be stoned because it killed the person and the court condemned it to death. The robber could say to the original owner, "Behold, what is yours is here before you. Take it back as it is." In all these cases where the change is then it becomes the robber's property. The robber can therefore return the article in its current state, and he is not obligated to pay for its loss of value. Mr. Given, lost on the sake with a kilkalo. Someone gave wood to craftsmen to improve and make them into utensil, and they made it into a kli, but then they ruined it. They are trying to pay the value of the utensil rather than the value of the wood they were given, because it was the utensil that they damaged. Nasan l'charash sida teva migdal l'sakin. If one gave a carpenter a carriage, a box, or a closet to fix, the kilkol, and he ruined it, chayav l'shalim, he is chayav to pay the value of the object that he was given, since that is what he should keep alive. This story is a kosa. If it builds havadim or shehizik, and he broke the stones or caused damage with them, chayav l'shalim, he is chayav to pay for the damage to the stones or the damage caused by the stones. When he agreed to take down the wall, it was understood that he would keep the stones intact so that they can be used in the future. He must therefore pay for damaging them. He is also chayiv for the damage done by the stones, because by agreeing to do the job, he accepts the responsibility to prevent any resulting damage. Haya says to be tzadzeh, if he was taking down a wall from one side, and it fell from the other side because the second side was being supported by the first side and it lost that support. Pater, he is not chayav to pay because he was not expected to realize that the second side was supported by the first side and could not stand on its own. If the second one, if the second side fell directly because of a blow to the first side, and he hit the first side so hard that it caused the second side to fall, Chayav, he is Chayav to pay. He should have been more careful not to let the second side move. Mr. Dalit. Another same seven. Let's spot. Tzaba. If someone gives wool to a dyer, so that the dyer will color it, Vehikdichasto, vehikdichat, vehikdichato, and the cauldron used for dyeing burns it, it becomes ruined. Notice thing though, the made tomorrow. The dyer pays him the value of his wool. So, or if he dyed it poorly, he cannot demand his fee since he did not do his job properly. Nevertheless, because he increased the value of the wool, he has the right to be paid as the following. If the improvement he made to the wool is greater than his expenses, the owner pays him his expenses. And if his expenses were greater than the improvement to the wool, the owner pays him for the improvement. Adam, if the owner asked him to dye the wool red for him, but he dyed it black, Adam, or if he asked him to dye it black and he dyed it red, but he made it only Rameir says no similar to tomorrow. He pays the owner the value of his world wool. Since the dyer acted against the owner's wishes, he's considered a thief. And therefore, like a thief, he acquired the stolen property when it underwent the change with being dyed. He therefore keeps the dyed wool that he has to pay the owner the amount of the wool that it was worth at the time of the theft. And Yehuda says, if the improvement he made to the wool is greater than his expenses, notice how you'd see it, that the owner pays him his expenses. And if his expenses were greater than the improvement to the wool, notice the owner pays him for the improvement. Mishnah Hey, goes Pruta. If one steals for another something that is worth at least a pruta, but Nishbalo and swear falsely to him, denying the theft, but later confesses, Yolicheno Achro Afilu Imadai. He must bring the stolen item to him even in to Madai, to the country, like in person Madai. He must bring the stolen property or its value to the owner, even if the owner is very far away. Lo yitin lo levinah lo l'shlucho. He may not give it to the owner's son or to the owner's agent and ask him to deliver it. Rather, he must return it to the owner himself. Aval. Notice in the shliach based in, but he may give the stolen item to an agent of the court, who then holds it on behalf of the owner. The Chachamim decreed that this is enough because they wanted to make it easier for a thief to Cuba. The the owner dies before he was paid, and then the thief must return the stolen property to his heirs. Mishnah Vav. If after swearing falsely and confessing, he paid the owner the principal, but he did not pay him the fifth, or the owner forgave him the principal, but did not forgive him not forgive him the fifth. Or he forgave him this and that, meaning the principal and the fifth he forgave, except for less than the prutas worth of the principal. He did not pursue him to pay him what remains. In all of these cases, the thief not only has to pay the fifth, in all these cases, the thief only has to pay the fifth. Because he's not obligated to pursue the owner to a distant land because the obligation applies only where he must pay the principal and not when he has to pay only the fifth. The reverse cases. However, if he paid him the fifth, but did not pay him the principal, or the owner forgave him the fifth, but did not forgive him the principal, or he forgave him this and that, meaning the principal and the fifth, except for the pruta's worth of the other principals. He must pursue him, since in all these cases he still owes the principal he must pursue the owner to give it to him, no matter how far he needs to travel. Continuing on, Mishnah Zion. If he paid the owner of the principal, but not the fifth, and when asked for payment, he swore falsely to him about the fifth, claimed that he had already paid it. Later, he confessed to this new sin as well. He must pay a fifth for the fifth that he denied. In addition to paying the fifth for the first false oath, he must pay a fifth of the fifth because of the second false oath. Blech. Let's try it again. He must pay a fifth for the fifth that he denied, in addition to paying the fifth for his first false oath, his first false shiur. He must pay a fifth of that fifth because of the second false shiur. Okay. If he pays only the first fifth and swears falsely that he paid the second fifth and confessed, he must add a fifth to the second fifth on the second fifth because of the third false oath. This can continue until the principal amount on which he swears falsely is reduced to less than the value of a pruta. The same thing applies for a deposit. Something was deposited with the person, and he did not return it, and then he swore falsely to deny his obligation. Then he confessed. He is chayav to the same laws as a thief who swore falsely in confession. Neymar, Pasuk says, "If he kadar of a shiur of a gazel of ashak asamiso of matzavide." If a person will sin by lying to his fellow regarding a deposit or a loan or a robbery or cheating his fellow, or he found a lost item and denied it, he swore falsely. This one pays, the sinner mentioned in the verse in the pasuk pays the principal, and the fifth and brings an asham offering. Asham, as the pasuk continues, he shall repay its principal and add its fifth to it. He shall bring his asham offering to Hashem. Moving right along. Hey, Sean picked duty. If one person said to another, "Where is my deposit? What is my deposit that gave you the safeguard? I'm a low avad." He said it was lost. In which case, he would not be chayv to return it or to pay its value. The owner said to him, "I hereby make you swear that it is indeed lost." Amen. He says, "Amen." This is the same as making the oath himself. And afterwards, witnesses testify against him that he consumed it or he kept it for himself. And Shad Karen, he pays on the principal. Hodo may also because he confessed on his own, but if he confessed on his own, he pays the principal and the fifth and brings the current asham. It's only when the thief confessed that the chiyuv of the fifth and the asham apply. Okay. Mr. Fess. Hey, Sam Pigduni. One person said to another, "Where's my deposit that I gave you the safeguard?" I'm alone. Name no. He replied, "It was stolen." In which case he would not be obligated to return it or pay its value. And the owner then said to him, "I hereby make you swear that it was stolen." But Amen, he answered, "Amen," which is the same as making the oath himself. And afterward, witnesses testified against him that he stole it. He stole it himself. He makes the double payment kefil that a regular thief must make. He does not pay the extra fifth or bring an asham offering because he did not confess. And those two obligations apply only where the thief confessed on his own. How the If he did confess on his own, he pays the principal and the fifth and brings the asham offering, but he is exempt from the double payment because that is a fine, and the rule is that a person's confession does not obligate him to pay a fine. Mishnah Tess, Agozos of him Ishmael, someone robbed his father and swore falsely to him, claiming that he is not chayev, a mace, and then the father died, and the son confessed. I raised him a shalim karen v'chamash l'vanav ola echav. He pays the principal and the fifth to his father's sons, or the father's brothers. He must pay the entire principal and the entire fifth, including the share that he inherits, to the other heirs of his father, such as his father's other sons, or the father's brothers. Although the thief also inherits his father, he may not keep anything for himself, but he must pay everything to the other heirs. If he does not want to give up his share of the stolen item, or he does not have enough money to afford giving it up, well, then he may borrow money from someone who buy him in front. And then his lender could come and collect the debt from the portion of the stolen property that he inherited and gave away. The thief borrows an amount that equals his share of the stolen item, then he gives the entire amount to the other heirs, and then the lender collects his debt from the other heirs. In this way, the robber fulfills his obligation to return the entire item, and yet he also benefits from his share by borrowing that amount and not paying it back. Mr. Yud, Omer living on Kodam, if someone says to his son, Konam, if you benefit from what is mine, mean that he made a neder asking his son to have benefit from his property. When he dies, the son inherits him. The son's allowed to have benefit from his father's estate. Since the father said what is mine, he intended to prohibit his property only as long as it belonged to him, and not after his death when it is no longer his. However, if he declared his property forbidden to his son during his lifetime and after his death, he said, as an example, he said, Kohanim, if you benefit from me what is mine during my lifetime and after my death, when he dies, the son does not inherit him. He may not benefit even from his own share of his father's estate. The father said that the Isser lasts even after his death. And so must return his share of the estate to his father's sons or his father's brothers, meaning the other heirs of the estate. If he does not have enough money to buy the food, he may borrow money with buy in the front. And then his lender could come and collect the debt from his share of the estate. This is permitted because the son thereby benefits from his share only indirectly. Mishnah Yud Aleph Hagozel S Hager Nishbalo. If someone robs a convert and swears falsely to him, clearly he is not chayiv. The mace and the convert dies without leaving heirs. Harezim and Shalim Karen the Kohanim. The thief pays the principal and the fifth to the Kohanim. The Asham Mizbeach and brings an Asham offering to be burned on the Mizbeach. Shedemar, as the pasuk says in I think it's Naso. But if the man has no relative to whom the guilt payment can be returned, does not have to have an heir to the principal, and the fifth can be repaid. The guilt payment that has been returned is for Hashem for the Kohen. Milvad el Kippurim asher yichaper ba'alav. Side for the ram of atonement with which the Kohen shall provide him atonement. But Hayamala as a kesem is Asham, if the thief is bringing up the money in Asham to Yerushalayim to give the money to the Kohanim and to offer the Kohen Asham, the mace and he died along the way. Hakesem Yinasim Levanav. The money shall be given to his son to inherit him, and not to the Kohanim. The Asham offer increases until it develops a blemish, a mum. And is then sold, and the money from the sale goes toward the purchase of a voluntary communal korbanos. And the last one for today, Mishnah Yud Beis. Nasa Nasa Kesel Al Mishmar Beis. Then you give the money to the men of the Mishmar who were serving in the basement that week, and then died before his carbon ashram was offered. And Hayashim Yechalil Al Sibiyada. His heirs cannot take the money back from the Kohanim, even though the thief is no longer able to get atonement from with his ashram. Now, what the pasuk says, that what a man gives to the Kohen shall be his, which teaches that once the Kohanim are paid, the money is completely theirs and need not be returned. Nasan Hakasa Yariv, the Asham Daya. If he gave the money to Arif, who was the first Mishmar during the week, and then gave the Asham to Yedaya, the second Mishmar during its week, Yatsa, he has fulfilled his shiur, because the payment was made before the Asham was offered, which is the correct order. However, if he did the reverse, Asham liyahoyariv, the kesef liyadiyah, that he gave the Asham to Yehoyariv first, the first Mishmar, and the money to Yedaya, the second Mishmar, then the halacha is as follows. Im kayem ha'asham, if the asham still exists, when the first Mishmar was not makri. Yakri ben Yedaya, then the members of Yedaya, the second Mishmar, offer it instead. If the asham does not exist anymore, because the first Mishmar, Yehoyariv, had already offered it. Yaksiv Yavi Asham Acher. And the thief must go back and bring another Asham, because the Asham provides atonement only if it is offered after the payment is made. Mishehamevi Gazlo Ad Shelo Hevi Ashamo Yatsa. Because one brought the payment for his theft before he brought his asham, who has fulfilled his obligation. Hevi asham ashalo hevi gazo loyata. The one who brought his asham before his brought the payment for his theft has not fulfilled his obligation, the thief does not receive against the asham later. Not so that if you give the Kohanim the principle that he stole but did not give the fifth, the fifth does not hold back his atonement as long as the asham is paid. It brings a kapara for it, even though the fifth has not yet been paid. Thank you for joining us. Sorry for being a little bit out of it, and hopefully we'll continue on Sunday well rested. Have a wonderful Shabbos.